At one point in my career, I became so overwhelmed that I didn't know what to do. But the easy thing to do was to take off the next day. So I walked into my manager's office. It was an outer office. And I said to her, I need to talk to you. And she said, about what? And I said, about me. She said, oh, come here. So we go to her office and she closes the door and I sat down and she said, what's going on? And I began to cry. And I thought, I don't want to be like those women crying in the office. You even heard about it in the movies. I said, I don't want to do that. But the tears started to roll. And I said, you know what? I'm so overwhelmed. I need to be off tomorrow. I just need a break. And so we continued to talk for about 10 or 15 minutes. And she said, yeah, Carla, no problem. No problem. Take off tomorrow. But as I walked back to my office, I saw one of the guys who worked for me. He was sitting there on his phone. And it hit me. Carla, you're not delegating. You are not delegating. So I sat down in my seat and I said, I'm still going to take off tomorrow, but I'm going to delegate and I'm going to delegate and I'm going to delegate some more. And that's what I did. It took the burden off of me. It actually helped grow my team and it made us better than we were before. And here's a little nugget. The guy who I started delegating to, he said to me months later, Carla, you know what? We're so busy now. Yeah, we are. I never told him that's because I'm delegating to you. But how was it that he couldn't figure it out? But that's okay. Today, we're going to talk about delegation amongst other things with Miss Ronalyn Wirtz. Welcome to Lead Like You Mean It, people. Ms. Ronalyn Wirtz is an award-winning online business manager and founder of Clark Virtual Business Solutions, Pets and Profits. Ronalyn has helped over 100 businesses scale their systems, delegation, and operational clarity with a special focus on the pet industry. Today, we're talking about the systems behind success and what it really takes to scale with confidence. Ronalyn, we're going to talk about the pets also. We'll explore how structure, delegation, and the right operational foundations can completely transform a leader's ability to grow without burnout. Ronalyn, welcome to Lead Like You Mean It, people.
Hi.
Good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So share a little bit about yourself, Ronalyn.
Sure. So I'm an online business manager. A lot of people don't know what a OBM is. An online business manager is higher than a virtual assistant. What I do is I strategize what's working and what's not working in a business. I streamline operations to make sure that the operations are very smooth and seamless. And then I also implement those seamless systems.
What's your favorite thing about being an online business manager?
I love doing the strategy. There's something about talking strategy and seeing the little details of what's needed in a business that I just love.
And then what do you find is some of the hiccups with business owners?
The biggest one is they hold themselves back. They're the bottleneck. So many business owners are afraid, I will say afraid, to delegate. Like you mentioned in your story, it's just you think that you're the only one that can do it. Yeah. And that's not true. You're holding yourself and your business back when you don't delegate. You may think that you can do it. It'd only take me a minute to do it. But I will bet you anything, there is someone out there that can do it in half the time that it takes you to do it.
And then sometimes better.
Yes, definitely better. Yes.
Yeah. Because I've found out in the private and public sector and also within my own business. Because I think, I can do that. Then you find someone else who can do it better. What's that line? Better, faster, stronger. What was it, Bionic? What is it?
$6 million.
whatever his name was. Yeah. But you find that the people have better skills
Yes.
than you do.
Yes.
So tell me about the delegation and someone holding on to a particular, let's say a particular task, and talk a little deeper about how that impacts their business.
You always think that you can do it better than anyone else. And the thing is, when you're doing everything in your business, you're definitely holding your business back, because you're working in your business. And as a CEO of your business, you should be working on your business as in growing it and seeing where your business can grow and just expand. So, with holding on to those little tasks, you're never going to grow. So yeah, that's, it's hard. I mean, I understand it. I understand that it's hard to delegate, because it's hard for me to delegate. I always think I can do this, it only took me a minute. But the secret to it is, if you don't think that someone else can do it, there is someone else that can do it.
So true. And I want to talk about how you've helped me with systems. Now, I'm going to be honest here. I'm not great with systems. See, Ron is even laughing. I'm not great with systems.
You're great with the ideas.
There you go. There you go. But talk about how having systems in place helps an entrepreneur.
It just makes your business run so smoothly, and there's so much less to worry about, because you don't have to think about those little details, because they're already set up. You may have to think about them at one time, or when you get your right-hand person that's their skill, you're not going to have to think about that at all. You're not going to have to think about those details, because they're just going to take care of it for you. So, yeah. I mean, and I think, that's one thing you haven't mentioned. I'm your operations manager, and it's, and it's been, we work so well together, because you have the ideas, and then I see how to get your ideas to reality, and making sure that there are no missing parts in that idea.
Yeah. And when you mention the systems and how you got to have them in place, like you mentioned, and you have to implement them. And when you have me, who's just focused on the ideas and focused on the future, it does help me to stop and say, oh, wait a minute, I may have too many ideas at this particular time.
Right. And that's where the strategy comes in. The strategy part of my position is, we take all those. I always tell any entrepreneur that I'm working with, give me all your ideas. Tell me your big goals that you want. And then we're going to break them down and say, okay, this might not happen this year, but this one we can definitely get going. This one we need to do first thing. And I love it. I love that the entrepreneurs just dump your ideas, because there's always a way to make it possible. And I'm straightforward with people. If I don't think you're going to make it, or it's not possible, I will tell you. Or if I know that we need to find someone to help us make that goal, we'll find someone.
Yeah. So when we're talking about the systems, give me a couple of examples of different systems that you help an entrepreneur implement.
Sure. So, it could be as easy as going through the emails, and what you need to look at and what you don't need to look at. It could be making sure that your CRM is up to date, or that you're using the right CRM, or if you have a sales funnel, making sure that all those little details are in place so that it's not skipped at all. There's, if something won't go by the wayside.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. And what you have helped me with is, as you said, brain dumping. And I can sit there. Okay, let's say I can have a brain dump in the month of November. By January, I will have forgotten. And you're a great reminder to say, hey, based on our project here is listed. Remember you said this? I did it. I said I did. And there was one particular item that you have reminded me for weeks, and I still can't remember what it is.
Right. And I'm like, okay, we're going to table that then because it's not a priority. And one of the things, with having an OBM is accountability. Yes. I know that 50% of my position is accountability for any of my entrepreneurs, is to make sure that things get done. You may delegate to me, but there's still things that you need to do. Yeah. And that's where I come in. And I'm like, okay, this needs to be done. We're getting to that deadline. So
yeah. That's so true. Because just with me, I'll still live in the big ideas and think, oh, I have tasks to complete. Oh, I'm still living in the future. But the process is in place, and holding me accountable is paramount in the business, because as a solopreneur, it's just me. Yeah. And it's just me in my head. Yeah. And I'm not going to go far if I don't put things into place, action into place. Right. Even one time, I think I was getting ready to speak, and you, I can't remember how it went. And I think you mentioned, when are you going to prepare for that? And I thought, what does she mean? When am I going to prepare for that? I'm going to prepare for that. I mean, I'm mumbling in my head, but it helped me to stop. I need to schedule preparation for the speaking event. Yes. And so that was holding me accountable, but I wasn't used to it because I'm used to in my head.
Yeah. I'm like the reality check. To make sure that everything, it's going to work smoothly.
Yeah. Tell me about an area in your business where you have failed and you have learned from that failure.
Oh, I'm just like any other entrepreneur. We all have those bumps in the road. Yeah. I think it's been trying to find the right people around me. I do have 2 virtual assistants who help me, and it took me so many years to find the right people. They looked good on paper. They started off good, and then something would happen. And it would shock me. You think it was someone that you would trust, but then something would happen. But it's like any entrepreneur is going to have those bumps. But
yeah, and I had those working in the public and the private industry. Yeah, it's a people issue. Yes, and we can be people. We can be not what we express to be. Right. We can say in the interview, oh, Ronalyn, I'm just wonderful. You need to hire me. I will just support you 100%. But in reality, my focus could just be, I just want a paycheck. Right. And my concern is not you. It's not Clark Virtual Business Solutions. Right. It's just simply me.
Right. So, And that comes down to, what do you do when you do want to delegate? And I always say, even like with you and any of my entrepreneurs that I bring on, any new client, I do a 3-month contract first, because we got to make sure it works. Yeah. And I will say, for anyone who wants to delegate to someone, always do that little test project with them to make sure if they don't have the referral, Like if someone did not refer them to you,
Mhm.
or you just don't know what their experience is, then definitely do some kind of little test project with them and start small. Start small with, even if you have like a contract with them, start with the small things to delegate to them.
Mhm.
And, things that you don't like to do. That's the biggest thing to delegate. Delegate those things you do not want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Like the CRM. Okay.
Correct.
I hate it. Can I say it?
Yes, you can, because you have me to take care of it for you.
Thank the Lord, because I hate it. I hate it, but you do a great job with it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. Yeah. I'm techie. I love doing the tech stuff. And, I always say, I'll figure it out. If I don't figure it out, I'll let you know, and we'll have to find someone to help us do it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I want to switch over to the pet solutions. Well, maybe not so much switch over to, but I want to talk about how am I
Pets
saying
and
it
Profits.
correctly? I have the two together, pet solutions, pets
Pets
and profits.
Profits.
Okay, my apology. The pets and profits. I want to talk about how that's under your online business.
Mhm.
Your online business.
I call it my
It's under that.
parent
But
company.
yet it's separate entities. So can you talk about how this all started? And then
Sure.
we'll talk about the pets, because you know what? I bought my pet.
Yeah, so I always say the parent company is Clark Virtual Business Solutions.
Mhm.
And about 2 years ago, I decided to niche down to the pet industry, and I opened up a DBA of Pets and Profits. Same services, just a name different, a different name.
Yeah.
And so I can concentrate on the pet industry. I just thought that was something that would help getting into the pet industry, is having that name that goes with it. So yeah. But yeah, it took me 10 years to get to the niche. I mean, before that, I've always worked, and still to this day, as you're one of my clients, I've worked with all sorts of different entrepreneurs. Everybody needs help. And no matter what industry you're in, it's the same in the back end with the administrative and marketing. Everybody needs the same kind of help.
Okay. So I'm going to ask a crazy question. In my mind, it's simply dogs. Is it only dogs?
No. And see, you thought dogs because you had a dog.
Yes.
So and no, it's all animals, all pets. Even like I have a dog trainer that I work with that is one of my clients. And in the past, I've had an animal communicator, and she was like a communicator with all animals. So it doesn't matter. Pets are pets. Everybody just has their pet that they like better, the type of animal that they like better. So, and even though we only have one dog, I love cats too. I've grew up with cats and dogs. So.
Wow. Okay. So I'm a dog lover. I told you before I was going to have my dog on here, Riggo. Riggo left us in April 2021. It was a heartbreaker. He was a rescue after we had him when he was got him when he was 3 years old. He was a rescuer, and we had him we had him for 9 years. And he's named after my favorite Washington football player, John Riggins. Gotcha. And I love that dog. I mean, really, I love that dog. And when I saw your Pets and Profits, I thought, wow, that's something. How you could have a business that will focus on serving other I don't want to say animal, but again, I'm going to use my mind. Other people who have dogs, but really it's pets, really. But how you service them. And I thought that's fantastic. I would have never thought an online business manager for different type of pet or whatever they call them, different type of animal businesses. That's niche down, and that's also so fascinating.
Yeah. Everybody's like that. They're the same. Everybody's like, wow, that's just amazing. That you niche down to that. And I'm like, yeah. And the crazy story behind this is when I figured this out, I mentioned it to a friend who has known me for quite a while in my business. And the first thing she said, of course you did. Of course you're going to niche down to the pets. That just totally makes sense for you. Because I've been known for our animals. We've had dogs and they've always had their own social media profile. And everybody knew me for our animals. So yeah.
Wait a minute, I could have had a social media profile for Riggo.
Yes.
I never thought about that.
Yes.
I never thought about that. That's so interesting. Oh, he wouldn't have wanted it because at certain times, see, I talk to him like he's a human being. At certain times, when he was mad at me, I would talk to him and he would turn his head to the side, like talk to the paw. So interesting. That would have been fun to have. So you see similarities with, of course, it's a business. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But what do you find that's challenging with working with type of businesses to service dogs or service animals? I told you my mind is dogs, but service animals.
Well, it's not so. All businesses have the same challenges.
Yeah.
And no matter whether you're a leadership coach like you, or a dog trainer, or a groomer, or a pet sitter, it doesn't matter. Those challenges are always the same. You get to the point where you're overwhelmed and you just don't know what to do. Or you're like, how am I going to grow my business? I can't, I'm stuck at this income level because it's only me, and that's where you have to do that mind shift of you need to start delegating, and you need a team. And the biggest thing that I think people think of, oh, I can't afford a team. And my response is, you can't afford not to have a team.
Absolutely.
Because and you have to change that mindset that it's not an expense. It's actually an investment in your business and in you, because that's the only way your business is going to grow.
So, Ronalyn, I want to talk about you raising. You've raised thousands of dollars for animal rescues and served. Matter of fact, this is my first question that I've asked you. My first question from our list. Okay. You've raised thousands of dollars, for animal rescues and served on the Loudoun County Animal Advisory Committee. How has community advocacy shaped your leadership values, and what does service look like behind the systems?
So I think it definitely has made me realize how much a team is needed to get to the bigger goal, especially like working on the Animal Advisory Committee. I realized that it's the team that helps with the goals that within the animal shelter. And then also having fun, we all get along, and if you have that common goal, you have to get along. So and then behind the scenes with let's see, with service, You have to make sure that it's all customizable beyond the systems. Everything needs to be customizable. It has to be customized to the client, whether or not, no client is the same. And that's where, it's not one size fits all with my services. And then, being honest, what's going to work and what's not going to work. I think that's where a lot of entrepreneurs really need the support. They want to do something, but they need to realize, okay, this might not work this way, but let's make it work this way. So,
yeah. And I appreciate you saying customizable, because even as a coach, I may have systems in place for a particular client, but not every client is the same.
Right.
And they don't communicate the same.
Right.
You could have someone in the same position that could be a male, and another person could be in the same position and she's a female. But how they receive information and how they actually share information is totally different. I really appreciate that. That's something I'm gonna stick with. Just having that as part of my foundation, that just have to constantly acknowledge that I need to customize that personal coaching with each client.
Right.
Everyone's different.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I really appreciate you saying that, because that really, that helps me to even think more of how I can serve. And even working with you. So I've had admin, you're not an admin staff, but you're online business manager. But I've had admin staff before, and we have a great working relationship. And I'm able to talk and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. And I have no problem. I don't know. I mean, I like hearing that. I don't like hearing it, the fun side, because it stops me. But the entrepreneurial side says, oh, I need to lean in. What does she mean by
right? Maybe
no.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need that sounding board too.
Yes. You should be a coach. Because
you have to have your coach.
Yeah, you have to have listening skills. You have to have strong listening skills to be a coach.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Very interesting. That's something, again, I'm repeating myself a couple of times, but that, just that customizable, making sure that your systems can be in place, but you are still in service towards your client, and you need to be able to customize.
Right.
Oh, that's fantastic. Anything else before we close out?
No, I don't think so. I mean, this has been great.
But I appreciate you coming on to Lead Like You Mean It, people. And because pets, I've got to show my wriggle once again. Thank you, Ronalyn. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity to learn more about you and for sharing with everyone so they can learn what a real online business manager is, what she looks like, what he looks like as well.
Yeah. So
thank you very much.
Thank you.
And to everyone, thank you for Lead Like You Mean It, people. Thank you for I'm fixing my glasses. You said Carla always has an issue, blue glare. I know. I'm working on that too. So thank you for watching Lead Like You Mean It, people. We'll have another one in about, I will say, a week and a half or so. And I look forward to it. You guys have a great day. And always remember, lead like you mean it, people.